Genesis 47 continues the story of Israel's family in Egypt. It is a chapter of provision, blessing, and survival during the years of famine. Joseph went and told Pharaoh, "My father and my brothers have come from the land of Canaan with their flocks and herds and all that they own, and they are now in Goshen." He chose 5 of his brothers and presented them before Pharaoh. Pharaoh asked, "What is your occupation?" They answered, "Your servants are shepherds, as our fathers were. We have come to sojourn in the land, for there is no pasture for our flocks, for the famine is severe in Canaan. Please let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen." Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Egypt is before you. Settle your family in the best of the land. Let them live in Goshen, and if you know capable men among them, put them in charge of my livestock." Then Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and presented him before Pharaoh. Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and Pharaoh asked, "How many are the years of your life?" Jacob said, "The years of my pilgrimage are 130. Few and difficult have been the years of my life, and they do not equal the years of the pilgrimage of my fathers." Then Jacob blessed Pharaoh again before leaving his presence. So Joseph settled his father and his brothers in Egypt, giving them property in Goshen, the best of the land, as Pharaoh had commanded. Joseph provided his father, his brothers, and all his father's household with food according to the number of their dependents. Meanwhile, the famine grew more severe in Egypt and Canaan. Joseph gathered all the money in the land through the sale of grain and brought it into Pharaoh's house. When the people's money was gone, they came to Joseph and said, "Give us food. Why should we die before your eyes?" Joseph said, "Bring me your livestock and I will give you food in exchange." So they brought their horses, flocks, herds, and donkeys, and Joseph supplied them with food that year in exchange. When that year ended, the people came again and said, "We will not hide from you that our money is gone and our livestock belongs to you. There is nothing left for my lord except our bodies and our land. Buy us and our land in exchange for food, and we and our land will be servants to Pharaoh. Give us seed that we may live and not die, and the land will not lie desolate." So Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. The people became servants, and Joseph gave them seed. He decreed that 1/5 of the harvest would belong to Pharaoh, and the remaining 4/5 they could keep for food, seed, and provision. The people said, "You have saved our lives. May we find favor in the eyes of my lord, and we will be servants to Pharaoh." Thus Pharaoh gained ownership of the land except for that of the priests, which was not sold because Pharaoh gave them a regular allotment. Israel, however, settled in Goshen and prospered. They acquired property, were fruitful, and multiplied greatly. Jacob lived in Egypt 17 years, and his total lifespan was 147 years. When the time approached for Jacob to die, he called for Joseph and said, "If I have found favor in your eyes, put your hand under my thigh and promise that you will not bury me in Egypt. But when I rest with my fathers, carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their burial place." Joseph swore to him, and Israel bowed in worship at the head of his bed. Genesis 47 reminds us that God provides for his people even in famine. Israel prospered in a foreign land while Egypt itself fell under Pharaoh's control. Jacob blessed Pharaoh, showing that even the mightiest ruler stood beneath the covenant blessings of God. Joseph's wisdom saved nations, and yet his heart remained faithful to his father's request to be buried in the Promised Land. This chapter shows the contrast between Egypt's survival by surrender and Israel's flourishing by covenant. God's hand was on his people, shaping history toward his promises. Next comes Genesis 48. Jacob, nearing death, blesses Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, crossing his hands to declare that the younger will be greater than the older, just as God's purposes so often overturn human expectations.